Hey, hey, hey.
Hello, hello. How we doing, man?
Hey, hey, hey. Doing good. Doing good over here. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. It's hot here in Texas. We finally don't have snow or ice, so we got through some pesky tornadoes recently. But otherwise, I'm
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. So everybody, if you were waiting for us to go live last week, we ran into a few little snafus. Ryan had some tornadoes touching down in his neck of the woods.
Yeah,
Pretty
Dallas
crazy.
got hit, man.
So we just put it back a week and we decided this would be our very first episode with a guest. And we put out a little teaser like 30 minutes, 40 minutes ago. I think some of you Hexicans might be familiar with this guy. You might know him by a few different names. Could be Litecoin Moses, it could be Hex Jesus, but the more aptly named
Litecoin Moses.
dollar cost crypto is in the house with us today.
What's going
What's
on, you
going
guys?
on? Hey,
What's going on, man?
Shoo!
yeah, hit him with a shoe.
Shoo! What's
Hell
going on, you
yeah.
guys? Actually, since I'm on Discourse Syndicate again, I might as well go, oh, boy! Hit him with the Mickey Mouse, man. Hell yeah.
Give him some bows.
Yeah, man. Oh, you know what? The bows. Nice.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a pretty frequent when I see you go live, I'm a pretty frequent tune in for that. I really enjoy the depth that you go into on all the coins, all that talk. I love that stuff.
Oh, man. I appreciate it, man. So I guess I'm the captain now. And so you guys are like, in terms of like the show and stuff, you guys are mostly like focused on like, on, I guess, not just lifestyle, but just improving yourselves and then like physical fitness and things like that and health, right? Or do you guys
Yeah.
also delve a lot into crypto as well?
We definitely touch on it, but the focus is the like MOF is mindset of
Mm,
fitness. So each week we've kind of tried to basically build off of the previous episode to provide the information and education where one could use the episodes or the information provided there and kind of create or design some sort of lifestyle that would benefit them and have great
right.
health outcomes moving forward. A consistent trope that we often go back to is you want to be around to realize those cuatro cincos.
Right.
Yeah,
So
man. Yeah,
that's
we
a big
touch.
one.
Although, like, I feel like now, dude, the majority of this is mindset stuff of
Yeah.
nutrition, right? But that wasn't like as catchy as like MOF, so mindset of fitness. But honestly, if you go through our episodes, man, 99% of what we talk about is like the psychological, the mindset adaptation to
Yep.
understanding overall nutrition, right? Tracking stuff, how to go to restaurants to make this work, how to chart these things, right? You guys love charting it as it pertains to crypto and
Mm,
understanding how to do this in honestly like a really difficult culture and like lifestyle stuff that we have now, especially in America, right? With what went down with the shutdowns and everything, it's just a really difficult time to understanding the skill set and building a strong mindset with it. Super important these days, right? Because like Exercise just said, the Hex audience, in my opinion, is the most effective at understanding what growth mindset is, and they can identify a good asset quickly and understand it without nitpicking it immediately like other people who aren't quite yet ready, if you will, right, to understand it for what it is. And that's why we wanted to start here, because we wanted the Hex audience to be the most effective in this space, the most healthy in the crypto space, because yeah, crypto is typically not the most healthy in general, and being able to be that amazing audience that Hex is, but also on the nutritional side would just be insane. Plus, yes, we want to be around for the 5555s and also pass on not just generational wealth, but generational understanding of, hey, yes, we become so effective, we can be incredibly in shape, shredded, while still eating pizza, cheeseburgers, and living the lifestyles that we want to live, especially when we attain the financial attributes, right, that Hex can
Right.
provide long term. So we touch on all that stuff, man. It's kind of crazy. We're at, I think, episode what? This is 11, right?
11, I believe.
Yeah, we're on 11 now. So we've gone through a lot of stuff now. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So, goddamn, that was a pretty good explanation. Goddamn, right?
Hey, ask and you shall receive, my friend.
Hey man, I appreciate it, man. That's really good, yeah. Because like it's the sort of thing is if you really take care of yourself, there shouldn't obviously outside of an accident, of course, but like there shouldn't be any reason that you can't do 15-year stakes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's a lot of 555s. You know, that's 5 5 by 5s.
Yeah.
But You definitely can, and even people that are a little more elderly and stuff like that, they can do that. That 5-5-5, obviously. But of course, I've always been I've always since the jump, me and RG3 would recommend ladders.
Yeah.
Since the jump and stuff, there were some people that were a little bit more about every 3 years or something like that. Or there were some funky sort of ladder strategies back in the day, or staking strategies that I think that kind of gone to the wayside now for common sense.
Yeah.
Once because like it was all imaginary kind of pixie dust back in the day, and then it got real really quickly, and then people were like, oh my god, and then people started putting a lot more thought into their ladders.
Yeah, definitely agree, man. Yeah, I mean, dude, it makes it that much more exciting. Like the fact that hexagons can immediately identify this stuff and get really good at it, even potentially without the health stuff in the mix, it really just elevates it to the next level. I think really, as we're starting to like really learn that outreach is a big part of the product and getting it out to people, having a strong mindset, feeling healthy, being, energized, and having the ability to go out and be active in the community and doing these things is super important too, right? We don't want to be bogged down with health issues and all this stuff going on. So we try not to be like obviously depressing the channel, but we do, lay out the facts of what's going on. It's kind of crazy right now. It's like a rug pull, in the shitty meme coin. It's like a rug pull right now in the overall state of health in America. And, you can't really be too upset, right? The setup is inherently very complex and layered. You have, right, the institutional situation we have a Wendy's down the street, not a farm, right? You have the family-based relationships with food. You have the drop in activity levels over the past 10 years, especially the sudden drop, right? With, what had happened recently, we're all forced inside. Many of us were. And all that plays a role, and if we don't have the core understanding, right, the physiology understanding, just the energy balance understanding, and giving hexagons the ability to do that and still eat the foods they want to eat. I mean, we're talking, dude, like, yes, mindset of fitness, but man, a lot of stuff we've covered is showing people how to basically get shredded while eating Wendy's. Now, we're not condoning that. The numbers are there to create that situation, right? I've worked with a lot of people, and truck drivers were the main one my first couple of years. I'm from upstate New York, like way upstate, like Rochester, New York.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, actually. That would be your customer base in the beginning.
Yeah, it's crazy. And people forget that there's a lot of routes that go up there. And I can't tell that guy to go eat healthy and go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week. He's going to slap me and never talk to me again. And that's that. You lose that person forever. So if your solution is perfection, you're not actually creating a solution because it's a 0% success rate, right? So we have to be more nuanced and clever about the solution. And with me and exercise, we feel that the only way to really create that solution is, of course, with information, but having an honest conversation about it, because like feelings will be hurt. Just like with hacks, right? Look what Richard does. He conveys the truth. He does not care about feelings. He's there to save people, period. And eventually people who can see through the nonsense that is put out there as fluff in the space can understand the transparency and the value that sits there. So that's what we're trying to bring in here. And I think slowly but surely we can, because it's a space that's not really yet it hasn't really had anybody yet in the overall fitness space come in. You know what I mean? We're trying to come in and make sure what is put out is pure. Right. It is not fluff. It's not BS. It's not, 30-day challenges. It's not, here's your shake weight. It's not Bowflex. It's not this. It's not that, right? All those things could potentially be applicable, but within the confines of the stuff we talk about. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the take from the audience. So far it's been pretty good, I think, but.
Yeah, as much as possible, just open and honest discourse, albeit on Discourse Syndicate. It's what we're here to do, and trying to be as unbiased about it as possible. Because in this fitness world, it's very similar, honestly, to the crypto community, where like you want to shill your bags, right? It's like, hey, I'm doing this and it's working for me. This is the way to go. You want to shill whatever is going on with you, and there are so many ways to go about it. And you don't have to be a maxi about any one way for the most part. So yeah, it's been fun. I think both of us really like just shooting the shit about any and all topics, health and fitness, and bringing you on. I know you, DCC, have talked about lifting some heavy ass weights.
Yeah,
I've heard you mention some numbers that are fairly impressive
on
the deadlift, and I think on the bench as well.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I'm actually getting back into it right now, but I stopped going to the gym for about, literally, actually, this is kind of funny. Basically, I got an injury around like November of 2019. So I basically, it was either work or go to the gym. So I was like, I have to work. So it was basically a combination of 2 injuries. So I used to own a landscape business,
Okay.
landscape and irrigation business. And then I had my crews out there. We were essentially clearing an entire hillside. And so we were weed whacking an entire hillside, cleaning it up and stuff and everything, because we were going to do a job out there. I slipped, and then I basically slid down the hill, the pretty steep hill. And then it was almost like a cartoon, like, and I literally got air. I went in the air, and then it landed on my ass basically, and I hurt my lower back really badly actually from that fall. So I was but the back had been weakened already because I was a big heavy deadlifter and stuff. Yeah. And I pushed my fitness to like the nth degree, basically going kind of hard. Me and my brother were basically on not a challenge, but we were just like, fuck it, bro, we're gonna go to the gym every day. Let's do it, bro. So we went to the gym from like, I would say August of 2018 all the way up until November. We missed like 3 days in that.
Damn, dude.
I went down from like 268 down to like, I was like 195 when I got the
injury.
Yep.
Wow.
195. Yeah. I mean, if you see some of the earlier stuff, I look pretty skinny. I was pretty good in shape. But but it's kind of funny is like when the first some of those first Discourse Syndicates that we did back in the day and stuff like that, that was already me like 4.5 months, 5 months without working out, basically. Around the time I was going in there a little bit to try to do some like it even hurt to do the elliptical.
Wow.
Damn, yeah.
Yeah, because it was all my lower back.
Yeah, lower back's tough, man.
Yeah, it hurt me too because I was so pissed off that like I couldn't deadlift anymore and everything, like, because like I lifted since I would say 18 and a half years old till like, what was it? I must have been like 27, 28, around that age. And then off that injury, I was like, that was the first time I basically had to take a whole year and a half off. And then I went back to get physical and everything and just got everything checked out. And they said I could go work out again. And then I still was feeling good. And then finally, I would say about 4.5, 5 months ago, I basically felt good again. And I started going back to the gym. Basically.
Nice, man.
Yeah. But
awesome.
Yeah, I got up to pretty good weight. I mean, basically during, I guess the most I ever like in terms of 1 rep max, I did 630-pound deadlift for 1 rep maxes.
Stop there, man.
Shoo!
Yep.
Yeah,
good.
buddy.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think I could have gone heavier. I just didn't attempt it. I was deadlifting with my I've got a brother that's 1 year younger than me, and he was doing like 680 pounds.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. Some big numbers, man.
Those are some heavy ass weights.
Must feel great to be back though, dude.
Yeah, it really does. But I'm being super careful my back doesn't hurt anymore, and neither does my neck.
Yeah.
Oh, so I forgot to mention. I skipped a little part of it. So about like 2 years before that, I got another workplace injury. Basically, we were digging these. There's something called rock rivers. We do these out in California, where basically we clear out the entire area. We make it pretty nice and clean, and then essentially we dig like a mini trench to look like a river, and then we fill it up with rocks. So it's a rock river. So it's kind of like an artistic sort of thing, and then you place rocks and plants and stuff. It's just for, it's for looks basically. Well, I was digging that trench, and then I was about maybe 4 feet in the trench. As I was digging the trench out, I grab an axe. I was cutting some tree roots out of the way and stuff so we can clear it, so we can then compact it down. I stand up and I hit the back of my head right here on a tree. I didn't see it, but it was a tree. It was a tree limb that was low. I hit my back of my head. I heard every single bone in my neck crack. It was like pop, pop. I was like, whoa! And it was I probably gave myself a concussion, but it actually felt really good actually. Like
Jesus.
Yeah. I know that's not good, but it was like I was like, ooh, that's what I felt like. I still remember to this day. I was like, ooh, damn, that feels good. Like I was moving my neck and it felt like buttery. It felt so. That's the only way I can describe it. And then from there, I basically couldn't high bar, low bar, squat, anything on my upper back there. But then I remedied it by doing a ton of face pulls and like rear delt work to strengthen up this whole like upper back
posterior
area.
chain,
yeah. And then it just fixed itself after that. So it wasn't that much of a problem. But that's one of the reasons why I kind of didn't focus on squat for a long time, basically because I couldn't. So I just hyper concentrated on what I could do, which was like bench and deadlifts, basically.
Yeah.
My bench was pretty good.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
those two are nice to have in the rotation. Bench and deadlift. If you can do those, That keeps you happy.
Dude, compounds hit hard though, man. Like, honestly, like I'm 32, about to turn 33. I'm like, oh, I want to do this stuff for a long time. I don't think I'm gonna be deadlifting until I'm 55 or anything like that, you know. So that's another thing too, is knowing when to shift from compounds to just, even if it's just machine work, because there's nothing like bad about that. People like, oh, you're a bitch, you know, you're doing machine work. It's like, no, not really. Like 80% of this, once again, tune into our earlier episodes, is nutrition. So I see dudes that look amazing and are doing machine work. You know, it's not, you know, inherently because they're sumo deadlifting 5 times a week or not. You know what I mean? Like that can't help, and you can't put on a lion's share of your muscle mass. But compounds can be dicey, especially depending on, I know exercise will go in on this one, like depending on limb lengths and how tall you are and pre-existing injuries. Like you don't want to like go back in and go hard and then just get wrecked and then have a really rough go the next 10 to 20 years. Because then you give up all that future progress, you know. But I'm really happy to hear you back at it, man. That's awesome.
I mean, I'm going, and not 7 days a week, but 5. I'm going 5 days a week.
Awesome.
I'm doing like Monday through Friday. I'm doing like an upper lower split basically.
Nice.
With some my Fridays are always my arm day. I gotta do a bro day.
Hey, no shame, man. No shame there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get these pythons back, man. I'm trying to get this gun show back, but it was really interesting because like speaking about those compound lifts and stuff, like I used to lift with a lot of like Asian lifters and stuff, like a lot, like I don't know why these guys would always like do sumo deadlifts and stuff. A lot of them now have bad hips right now, dude.
Wow.
All the dudes that I lifted with back in the day, like they're like, it was kind of, I don't, this is not like all the injuries that I ended up getting. I kind of like, I stopped myself and didn't like exacerbate it basically. So I didn't like keep working through the pain. I just stopped and like let myself recover. A lot of the guys I used to lift weights, because like, you know, I'm 30 right now. And all the guys I used to lift weights with back in the day from like, because I, you know, I was lifting with some of these guys since like 19 years old, 21 years old and stuff. And now they're pretty banged up, dude, because they were lifting. I mean, we're all lifting heavy and stuff. We were kind of doing power building, which was like our first 3, we would use the first 3 compound lifts would be, you know, bench, squat, deadlift, heavy, and then the rest of it would be like bodybuilding workouts, which would be more higher reps, so not as heavy, but you know, it's that kind of thing. And a lot of those guys, depending on what they focused in, you know, if they did heavy bench, they're like a bum shoulder, their shoulders kind of fucked up, it kind of hurts a little bit, or their elbows. Or if the squatters got they didn't get it as bad, I said, as the deadlifters and stuff, but they still like have their knees hurt and stuff. Like I got no knee pain, no back, not much. I got a little back pain, but not too much. But depending on what you focused on, that's where you were fucked up on, right? So it's like on the bench, right? Like you just got the shoulder in terms of joint size, shoulder, elbow, wrists. They're not that big. The joints aren't that big compared to, I mean, your lower back's, you know, still like it's a lot bigger, sort of a joint hip hinge there. And on the squat, you got your knees and the hips, right? So they can take a lot more punishment. But regardless or not, you know, bad form or just keep pushing the heavy weights and stuff, and like, you know, you're eventually gonna put some wear and tear on your body, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the compound movements usually have more bang for their buck, but it always comes back to like what's your goal, you know? So I definitely love compound movements, but yeah,
it's about getting jacked, bro. I mean, like I'm gonna lie about it. Like, the whole point of like at least as a guy when I started and shit, like it was all about fucking getting cuts with the sluts, bro.
Yeah.
You know, them curls for them girls, man. You know, you gotta stretch and squeeze if you want to get in between them knees. You know, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
I mean, that's what it was. I mean, like I ain't gonna front, bro. I hate how everyone like as you start getting older, yes, it is about health, because you start feeling like shit. Like if you don't take care of it, you like I do. Like,
yeah, man. That's how you know too, man. That's how you know, like, who knows what's really going on, because like when you start to see the reasons, like, oh, I can't lift anymore because of this or this, like that doesn't matter. You know, there's people that look fantastic that just go on a walk 3 times a week, or that, you know, do calisthenics or go on a hike with their family. You know what I mean? Like that's where you need to do the pivot based on, you know, requirements that are, you know, other priorities in your life, or because there is an injury or something happens. So that's why too, hopefully this show can show Hexagons like, hey, lifting is fantastic. I love lifting, but it's like one of so many tools, guys, that we can use. Like we do not have to lift. If you want to lift, you can go 1 time a week to look amazing. And if you want to go 6 times a week, great, man. Just make sure you have the time and it's sustainable. That's all, because that will probably change in the future. I can guarantee you. Get a wife, have kids, do something. You know, like it will definitely change. And yeah, that's how you can kind of like figure out who's in the like 40s and 50s and still looking amazing, and then who's going to have like issues, unfortunately, because that's typically where higher calorie intake comes in, lower activity levels, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, look who.
Nice.
Look who showed up.
RG.
What's happening, fellas? I heard you talking about old men and working out, so I figured I'd jump in real quick.
Yo.
What's going on,
I was
man?
giving you props. I was giving you props in the green room, bro. I was like, damn, I saw RG like we at the meetup in Vegas and stuff, and I was like, holy fuck, look at this fucker. He's in shape and shit.
Yeah.
Getting there, man. Ryan's putting me into shape, man. He ain't playing around. This man wakes me up at like 5 a.m. asking me to get on the damn scale. Where you at, man? Where you at?
Yeah.
RG's doing well, man. About 4 inches off your waist now, man?
Yeah. 4 inches.
And what? Just recently, the past couple weeks, brought in weight training. Just the past couple weeks.
I
Nice.
just started working out again, and then I jacked my back doing that video
Told you
shoot.
guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, so
Shit.
so they call me up and they said, hey, we want to do a gym thing. So I took them to my gym. Now I've got this trainer that and I do a lot of just the cables and machines. I'm old, man. I got to be careful with the stabilization workouts and stuff, because of shoulders and back and all that stuff. And so these guys changed the venue up on me. They're like, hey, we got a different gym. Your gym's not like suitable for it. We want this bigger gym. I'm like, oh, geez. So I drive all the way across town to get to this gym that night. And I get in there and they got the whole place smoked out, like smoke, like real smoke, like you can't breathe smoke in a gym. Right. So I walk into this place, the red lights are all over the place. Can't hardly see. And they got me in, come in, sit down and start the rowing machine. You can warm up in the rowing machine. So I go in and I sit down on this freaking rowing machine, and I don't do rowing machines. I just don't. And I got on that thing and I was a little pissed off. So I started doing the rowing machine and I threw my freaking back out. Like boom, fell off the rower, laying on the ground. Oh shit. Oh crap. Threw my back out right there.
Damn.
So there happened to be a trainer there. It was his gym. He helped me stretch it out and get it back into shape. And then I started doing all those workouts. So the tire that I was throwing around, and I've never done that before either. The box jumps, I was doing box jumps, and then the military presses and all that stuff was all like, just off the cuff stuff that they had me doing. And it was, it's kind of a cool workout. I got a workout that night, but man, my back is still in rough shape. Like I'm still 2 days away from getting back in the gym.
They should have told you at least the workout ahead of time. That's kind of crazy.
Man, Hollywood don't care, man. They don't care. They're like, do it, get out there, do it, So anyway, but Ryan here, man, he's been keeping my diet on point, and amazing. I'm not like, I'm satiated. Like every now and then I get a little hungry, but I haven't been feeling like crazy craving anything. Been able to stay on point with the diet, even with my crazy schedule. My schedule's been absolutely nuts. And but Ryan's been there the whole way.
Trips, man.
I know. We've been trying to do it on trips. Like
man.
he's like, yeah, I'm in a restaurant. He's like, take a picture, bro, and send it to me. So I'll take a picture when I'm eating. He'll go, man, that's about 1,800 calories. You might want to cut that sucker in half,
Yeah. Save it for later.
This dude's in Italy, right? We're trying to do this on I think we're at that point, 2,000 calories a day, right? We dropped most of your inches so far on that. We're on a little bit lower now, but dude, wait until we start increasing on the reverse diet, because now that his travel's out of the way, and we're kind of getting towards the part where weight loss can be dicey, not from a numbers perspective, right? Because we got to understand that, psychologically speaking, it's whether or not we're going to stick to the damn thing, right? Obviously, I could be like, hey, RG, go do 1,200 calories. And be like, dude, like, fuck off. Like, I'm not going to do this. So we got to understand that there's a range of actual effectiveness versus what we would like and say that we would like to do. So we're kind of getting close to that point. So at this point, we're going to start increasing his calories probably every 7 to 10 days in the cadence, and then maintain his progression, right? Maintain his weight loss, maintain his inches off. But instead of 1770 calories a day, we're going to get him up to 25, 26, 2,700 calories a day and build the skill sets where, let's be honest, I'm American. I eat about 3,000 calories a day. I live in Texas. I'm proud of it. That's kind of the norm, 25 to 3,000 or so. And once he's up there and stable and maintaining that, then we can say, hey, look, dude, now we can go back down to 2,000. Now that's another deficit, right? Now we can pull from that and create another window of opportunity, if you will, right? And it's more of a rinse and repeat. People forget weight loss is really a rinse and repeat in creating effective situations where we can be really consistent and sustainable on the diet, right? That's all that really matters. So that's going to be the most exciting part, man. I'm really excited for that because everybody experiences weight loss, which is kind of shitty, right? Lower calories, scarcity, hunger sometimes, pull away from social events. nobody sees the other side, which honestly is like the sexy side to me. You get to eat a shit ton of food, you know, for the most part within reason, right? Or a lot, as long as you're eating within the confines of overall health. I'm not like telling the RG, hey, go eat Skittles to hit 2,500 calories a day, but that's the sexy side. That's the fun side. That gets people in, right? That's the buy-in. That's the onboarding right there. Because this has to be fun. This has to be sustainable. Weight loss is so short term, man. If RG peels off like he will another 20, 30 pounds, it's like, then what? What comes after, right? We want to maintain that forever. That's not difficult, man. Once you learn that part, it's like, shit, we get to hang out at 160 forever. Most people get really afraid of what the after is, you know, and that's the most amazing part. Is it's shown in the data.
Captain shirt off at the beach. That's what happens.
But this is this plan that we're on right now is what I like about it is it's starting to create habits. And, you know, like all my other diet regimens were like crash diets, you know, no carb, this and that. And yeah, they took the weight off, but I took a lot of muscle off with it too. This has been very non-muscle wasting as far as the diet goes. It hasn't been easy, but it hasn't been, you know, super hard like some other diet plans. And then the weight is coming off on a regular basis. We'll see it plateau, then we'll change something up a little bit, and boom, we'll start back down on a weight loss move. So I'm enjoying it, and I like what I'm seeing as far as the results go. I'm retaining more muscle, losing more fat, losing more inches around the waist, and my hat's off to you, Ryan. Thanks, man. It's working out. It's working out great.
My pleasure, man. I'll tell you this. When you learn how to hit higher calories and maintain weight, right? So people are like, oh, 3,000 calories a day seems wild. It's like, dude, like a small blizzard at McDonald's is like 500 calories, guys. It's not that difficult, number one. But number two, when I eat 3,000, 3,100 a day, it gives me the privilege to then lose weight on 2,300 a day, which is a lot easier. You know, so that's where it's like, I know what my range is. I just own it. You know, I don't want to go below personally 2,100 calories a day. After that, I'm out of gas, and then I rely on activity levels, right? Manipulating those. And that's kind of what you're identifying, RG, is like, hey, what calorie ranges work best for you? Because you have such a unique situation. You live in California, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting, man. Really, really exciting stuff.
And tacos, man. Tacos work on the diet, guys. Tacos are good.
Yes, sir.
Because corn tortillas, not too bad on the carbs. But, hey, it's just some meat and some pico de gallo.
Dude, tacos are amazing. Dude,
tacos are good, man.
Tortilla chips, tortilla chips and margaritas, dude. Tex-Mex totally fucks me up, man. I went in.
You gotta stay away from the tortilla chips because of the oil and stuff. But if you get just a plain taco shell with no oil in it, you know, man, you're all right. You're doing good. Hey guys, well, I got to go get ready for my stream. I saw DC up here. I wanted to say hey to my bro, man. It's always good seeing you, man.
Nice.
And he's a beast, man. He's a big man. That is a big boy right there. He could throw some weight around too. That's a bodybuilder.
I think I should be at the 4 plates on almost all the compounds again in about like a month or two.
He's like 6'40", and I don't even want to say his weight. He's beast weight.
Yeah,
oh, you could say it, man. It's like I'm 260 right now. 265 right now.
Like 225, you'd be like a monster.
I'm going for it, man. I'm losing weight right now. I mean, I let myself go to like what was I? I was like 276, 277, somewhere in that range.
Wow.
I started working out again, so I'm grinding right now. That's for sure.
Nice, man.
Good for you. All right, exercise, Ryan. DC,
yes,
I'll catch you guys. I got to go get ready. I got George Wentz from Mad Energy coming on my stream here.
Hey George, tell George I said hi. He's a cool dude.
I will. Yeah, he's a real cool dude, man. So I'm gonna get ready for that. I'll catch you guys later. I'll see you in the morning, Ryan.
You already know, man. You better be there. I'll blow your phone up, brother. See you, man.
Later.
Peace. Yeah, George is a nice guy from Mad Energy. He's a really cool dude.
That'll be sweet, dude. Yeah. He just reminded me of like, you gotta understand too. When you do this for a long time, I've been tracking my food every day for almost 8 years now. I have. Because of the group I work in, I keep like a streak going in MyFitnessPal. I don't know if you've heard of MyFitnessPal, but I have a streak of like almost 3,000 days right now. I know it sounds freaking crazy, but it's just there to show people there's no secret sauce. But the point is dude, I was eating like 3,100 a day, still continuing my reverse diet. I'm like, okay, I'm going into Tex-Mex here. I just moved to Texas like 2 years ago. I'm like, there's no effing way that I'm going to need more than like 1,500 calories for this. I should be good. Dude, like 4 margaritas later, a bunch of tortilla chips, and then the main entree. I'm at easily like 3,000, 3,200 calories just for the dinner, bro. I clocked like almost a 6,000 calorie day. We are doing it, guys. Like I wasn't even really trying. And yeah, obviously the scale shows it, the data shows it, right? So, and of course it's an ego hit, right? Because at that point I'd been doing this for like 5.5 years, and it's still annoying, but you respond more with logic when you are used to seeing the data more often. Just like with charting and trading, right? You have to have a plan, a trade plan, and now let emotions come in. So I'm like, okay, clearly things are off here. And after like a few trial and errors, I'm like, okay, number one, I need to not be a monster when I eat text backs, but number two, I should probably give myself about 2,000 calories or so. And yeah, go figure, the data looks good again. Who would have thought, right? But yeah, you just reminded me that with the tacos, because tacos are great, man. You get like 6 tacos. There's only so much shit you can put in the taco to make it high calorie. You know, they're really easy to
challenge
track.
accepted, sir.
Challenge. That's fair. That's fair. And it's easy, like socially, to be like, oh, I'm only gonna have 3 tacos and save like the other 2. You know, they're easy to kind of like split up from like, I don't know. I know it sounds weird, but like you'd be surprised, probably not surprised to see the social interaction issues people run into. But God bless Mexico.
Yeah, because it is weird. It is this weird thing where like, especially if you've never tried to because like a lot of times when I go to restaurants, personally, what I'm doing, I just make sure there's no carbs with it, because I get pretty. I usually order like a New York or a ribeye or something like that, which already has a lot of fat on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just get it with a ton of veggies on the side, and that's fine for me basically. Or some. I don't like the Diet soda, but sometimes they just don't have a lot of options for drinks and stuff. So it's like it's better than Diet Coke, better than nothing, or just water.
Mm-hmm.
But that like you have to like, it's sort of this weird shit where like if you order like something like that's like not skinny fat, but like low calorie or something like that, like people kind of look at you a little bit. I found that at restaurants, or like, at least with people that I've had dinners with and stuff. Like people aren't used to like people doing that. Basically.
There's so much peer pressure, dude, in the social environment in America. Like I work with primarily females for the most part, age 40 to 65, and just the pressure and family relationships and just the expectations and culture right now for eating out is fucking wild, dude. Like we're talking like the battle plans we have to come up with to make these things work. And don't get me wrong, part of it is people are going to calorie counts that are just way too low to be sustainable in America. It's like, guys, the FDA based on a 2,000 calorie diet was applicable in the 90s. It is certainly not applicable now. And if you're losing weight, honestly, on anything below like 1,800, you just have to give up a lot to do it. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that on their first go, right? Someone already down 20, 30 pounds, they feel amazing. Maybe they're willing to give up more that first time. But yeah, eating out, man, we talked about that. We had an episode on that, man. It's an absolute beast where honestly, I tell people good rule of thumb is 1,200. And even then you could, well, clearly with myself, you can go way over. And alcohol, all the other stuff just adds in, obviously. But
let's talk a little alcohol, because obviously I've heard. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever heard of something, because Ryan and you exercise. You guys like when I started like the whole fitness sort of thing on my side. When I basically started on the beginning of like fitness YouTube. Basically, so I was watching like Chris Jones.
Oh hell yeah, man!
Physiques of Greatness, shout out!
Damn,
Physiques of Greatness, Scooby, the Hodge twins, and all those guys.
Hodge twins, oh man, I've heard that.
Dude, that's exactly where I started. That's before I got into like my degree, and I was just interested in. I was playing golf at college, and I just needed to hit the ball farther, and I wanted to look good. So yeah, POG, Physiques of Greatness, before it became Pump Chasers, Scooby. Matt Ogus, the Hodge twins, all those guys was like where I started as well. And yeah, I had this chat the other day on I can't remember which episode it was, but I can vividly remember like being down the rabbit hole of YouTube fitness on some shitty page where it's like pay $29.99 and I'll give you the secret for my abs. It was that Asian guy, Mike Chang. Yeah, man.
Oh my god,
yeah.
Abs,
and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And I don't even realize like how far into like this illusion I am until I'm about to click the buy button and I've got $0 in my pocket as a college student. I'm like, okay, this is bullshit, right? This has got to be bullshit. But that's what the fucking fitness industry is, and there's so many parallels with the crypto industry nowadays.
Dude, there really is, man. Good mentorship is like, that's why it's so difficult, right? There's so much fluff, so much misinformation that Richard has the tough problem of, just navigating that and clearing it, and obviously get the bad rap for us. So when we come in, it's difficult because you have to put aside your pre-existing beliefs and almost like the religion-based structure that is there for nutrition, just like there is for crypto now. When Richard comes in and says the things he says and challenges the current worldview, if you're not in the mindset to update your worldview, you're just not going to get on the train. You're gonna miss out on the opportunity. Same thing with this stuff. I was lucky enough to have a great mentor that taught me this stuff, who was a professional bodybuilder, because I could have gotten easily wrecked. someone just teaching me all the wrong stuff that would have not allowed me to be sustainable 7, 10, 50 years out. Hopefully I live 50 years out. But yeah, there's a lot of nonsense out there. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah. So alcohol, what you want to talk?
Right. So in the only, so back in the day, right? Like it was like just to go with Chris Jones and all that, like they would barely. I mean, they still would talk a little bit about going out, but it was really like they were really on their game basically. Like the most you would hear is like, oh yeah, vodka club soda, basically one of these with some vodka is basically the best and pretty shitty drink, honestly. I don't like it at all, but it's just like if you're gonna drink, it's like ass. Like personally, what I did back in the day was just sugar-free Red Bull vodka would be better. I'd be like, at least it tastes a little better because it would just taste like straight ass. Regardless, I was like, I might as well just be shotting down fucking tequila instead of drinking with club soda personally. But it's like the social thing too. It is that thing because like if, take a shot, boom, and then like, oh, why aren't you drinking, right? So like you need to hold it. You need to have a drink. That social pressure shit you're talking about. Like, if you hold, you can literally could just have one drink in your hand, and like everyone's like, oh, I've been drinking. They're like, oh, okay, this is my I'd be going out sometimes when I was working out, and I'd be saying, oh, dude, you've been drinking? Yeah, dude, this is my third one. Oh, fuck, heck yeah, dude, you want? Yeah, give me another one, bro.
Sure.
But yeah, but there was this guy called the Road to Ripped and stuff, like Greg O'Gallagher and the guy who does all the Kino Body back in the day. That's the Greg guy, right? He was legitimately the first person in the fitness industry that I ever heard talk about fasting. And I'm talking it was 2011, 2013. I'm talking before he even got popular. Because with the whole fasting trend, and people don't give him enough like credit for that shit. Like he legitimately was like, he had this podcast called Road to Ripped with Greg O'Gallagher and I think I forgot the name of the main guy. Yeah,
I wondered who else he was with, but I think Greg O'Gallagher is Kino Body.
Oh, it's Greg O'Gallagher, and
that is him. I'm not sure who he was working with back in the day, but I do remember him back then too.
They're good bros. I mean, they were bros and stuff and everything like that. And he was, they talked about fasting and stuff like that. And they're the only dudes that like were talking about, like, hey, I do go out partying or I do stuff, so I need to be able to drink. Basically. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have any tips on that because it does. I mean, typically it doesn't happen, but like once a month, you are in some event or something where you do have to drink, or you might have to like get invited out somewhere.
Yeah, I guess like the best tip I have is like if you want to indulge, like I pretty frequently indulge myself. It's just like realize like what's going in. If it's 10 beers, you're probably intaking 1,500 calories ish, and it's all about zooming out. Like if you're hitting like weekly targets, monthly targets, it's still gonna be okay, right? Like one big drinking day isn't gonna kill or stop. It might hinder some like stuff going on in the moment. If we get like down to a molecular level, it's like, okay, alcohol is going to interfere with the mTOR process and it's going to have some muscle protein synthesis like effects. But you zoom out at all and it's like, have your beers. If you want to be careful about it, you can go the vodka soda route, right? And usually hard alcohol is a little bit less will have fewer calories than a beer, but nowadays you can get a beer that's like 90 calories. Yeah. They're like the light style beers,
they have a lot of great options.
But 90 calories for a beer, that's not bad.
But how do I binge drink without like destroying my diet? Like I want to get 20, 30 beers deep, and like how do I do it?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. You said without destroying your diet. There's two things here, right? There's overall health, because I know exercise is going to hate me for saying this, right? But we could make that happen. Would you still be sacrificing your overall health to get it? Yeah. I mean, if we get you eating 4,000 calories a day, that can prop up, if you will, right? A lot of alcohol. Is that obviously good for overall health? No, right? We don't want to do this on just like Skittles and like wine or whatever. But, to your point, once again, building your metabolism and really owning or identifying what those ranges are. So if you want to live a lifestyle where you're able to go out a couple times a week and have drinks, this and that, I would say it depends on kind of like really to what exercise said is really touching on structure, right? If you're at the very tail end of a weight loss phase, really consider that weight loss phases are so short. We're talking maybe 8 to 10 weeks max, typically for most people. And if you already know what the reverse diet process looks like, you're going to be at 3,000 calories or above in the near future, right? So maybe you identify that, you set up your weight loss phase around these things. But the point being is if I was during the reverse diet, it wouldn't even matter. You're eating like 24, 25, 2,700 calories a day. the drinking becomes no chore. Or if it's the first 2 weeks of a weight loss phase, maybe it's not that big of a deal because hunger maybe isn't a big of a deal. But if you're at the tail end of the weight loss phase and hunger starting to creep in, you're noticing you're seeing these signs with red flags that you may need to get out of this weight loss phase. Maybe not the most ideal time to have that big setback on the weekend where you potentially drink and overeat and set up really the worst setup, right? The setup for the stock to get shorted, to go down. It's not looking good, right? You don't want to hop in here. So that's what I would say. If you want, you share my screen, dude, real quick to show them. Like, I think
Sure.
this could really quickly visually, because it's tough to really talk about the stuff without having a visual. This is just my chart to give you an idea. So you can clearly see where a weight loss phase happens, a weight gain phase happens, and then another weight loss, and then the flat is kind of like a reverse diet. This is all pretty recent within the past year.
Right.
So the cool thing is you kind of identify what parts it may be effective or not to bring in more what I call like guessing, or like really like the high variance situations. Like, hey, for example, does it make sense for most Americans to lose weight during like Thanksgiving and Christmas time? I don't know. If I was a betting man, probably not, right? It's a total shit show. You know, everybody wants to pound food in your face. You're drinking, you're seeing family and friends. So yeah, you won't catch me dead trying to lose weight during November, December. I go into it knowing the price points on the foods are going to be high. Let's get prepped up for this. And I hate to say it, but yeah, January 1st is when everybody makes it easier in America to lose weight. Everybody's expecting that. So yeah, it is an opportune time. You know, it's less peer pressure going on. So the alcohol, to be frank, is honestly the most accurate and honest form of calories. It's typically the food choices we make at the restaurants, like you said, that are the most crazy. Like, oh, how the hell is this entree 2,000 calories? And really, the alcohol is what? Captain and Coke, 300 calories, 350. Like, it's not gonna magically be 1,000 unless it's like a pitcher. You know, like it's pretty honest and easy to track. So from what I see, the alcohol is usually not the problem. It's just how we incorporate it, and then where you position it with structure. You know, so if you're at a really dicey point, like, oh man, I'm at all-time lows and, you know, I'm feeling really good, probably not the best time to kill your momentum. You know, see if there's anything you can do to delay, delay that gratification, and understand that the calories are coming, man. They're coming back. That's why learning the full process is so important, because when Hexicans or whoever learns this process, you guys can delay gratification knowing that the future is bright. Like Archie, he's not afraid of the future. He's going to have 2,600 calories or whatever calorie range supports his lifestyle, because it'll ebb and flow, of course. But he knows that the weight's not going to come back on, and he can live at a calorie count that makes sense. He'll never have to worry about gaining a pound back ever again. So the drinks, all the other stuff, it's more of not like the shiny object that we need to have, the sexy object. It's just there whenever we want it based on your input. So hopefully that gives you some clarity in that too, because you know, if you were knee deep in a weight loss, it seems like you just started one, right? So maybe now is a totally fine time. You know, probably wouldn't affect you too much at all for a while.
Honestly. No, I'm not drinking that much either. Nothing like that. I mean, the last time I drank was basically at the Las Vegas event, but with everybody else. But outside of that, yeah, it's been pretty clean. And actually lost weight even during that entire time I was losing, because I basically was just walking around so goddamn much.
Yeah, get so many steps in, right? It's so nice when that happens, man. Plus in Miami, right? Or you're Vegas at that point, but yeah, that's just beautiful there. So yeah, definitely a good time to get the activity levels.
Miami was a lot of walking as well as like Puerto Rico as well too. Puerto Rico was crazy amounts. It's like you're doing nothing but walking basically, just because the parking situation is like. Funny enough, it's better than San Francisco, because like it's like San Francisco. Have you guys ever been to San Francisco, man? Fuck that shit.
Yeah, dude, fuck them hills.
I hate that. I passionately do not like San Francisco, just because like there's nowhere to park, and when you can't park, it's like you feel grimy walking to anywhere, basically.
Yeah, you know, and there's shite on this, like actual shite on the streets.
Literally,
unfortunate.
We can have a whole episode just on San Fran. I'm sure a lot of Hexicans feel the same way.
Yeah,
I have to imagine.
Yeah,
my one buddy lives close to the Bay Area, and I went to visit him. He's like, man, just heads up, like we're probably gonna see some like actual human shit right away, dude. Within 10 minutes of walking around there, yep, all over the place.
Shout out to Alan, Dustin, bro.
Alcohol, man, I swear, like I think we talked about alcohol in one of our episodes. Maybe I'm going crazy, but like. It straight up gets a bad rap. It's really just the decision making, obviously, while having it. You know, that's really what I see as the big problem. Like alcohol is pretty damn easy to track. It's
hitting the old Whataburger at 3 a.m.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like, man, even then, Whataburger's got, at least they're transparent. Like, you know how I talk about fast food chains, man. Like they're at least honest, guys. They have the exact price points. You could be as accurate as you want. You know, you can get apple slices at Wendy's. It's like, come on, they don't got to offer that. They're giving it to you though, man. Like get the get the grilled chicken sandwich, get the apple slices, whatever you gotta do. But man,
let's talk about late night munchies, right? Because
Mhm.
usually I'm pretty it's like from at least on my diet right now, I have pretty structured meals. Basically, right now I've actually got I prep meals ready and stuff that I actually like and everything like that. It's a cup of rice, broccoli, zucchini, and stuff, and like 4 or 5 ounces of beef or ground turkey. And then from there, I just have myself a meal in the afternoon and stuff like that. But then, sometimes you do get those late night cravings. At least I do personally.
Yeah.
So what is a good like sort of like not cheat meal, but just in case you want to eat something else that's not going to destroy you in terms of the cost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exercise. I got a good one.
I guess it depends how intense like the craving is or the want is or the need is. I think the first place, like if you could like stick to it, would be to shoot for something higher protein.
Right.
Typically that will like also like have some benefits, especially if you're training throughout the night. But if you want to fit it in, I'm always like kind of like for fitting it in, and like if it puts you over on any sort of like macro count or calorie count, it's like that's not the worst thing to happen. It's just like if that happens 7 out of 7 days or 30 out of 30 days in a month, like okay, like now maybe we should talk about it and maybe like set up a full-blown strategy to address it. Have again some sort of high protein snack later at night. It will typically have higher satiation and some of those benefits of like actually like restoring throughout like the sleep cycle. Stuff that I automatically go to, especially late at night, is like high protein yogurts. Literally any, like it could be a steak, it could be a shake, it could be. But like if I want some chips late at night, like I'm having them chips. So just it's really again just I think being honest about like what the total is, because I think a lot of people will be like, well, I'm dieting, but then they'll have like a couple bites of something and they'll be like, hey, actually I only had a couple bites, so I'm not going to track that. But like that shit adds up like when you're on the razor's edge. So I'm all about like if you want it, like go for it, and then just like zoom out and look at your numbers at the end of the week. And if your weekly numbers are still matching, like it's going to add up in the long run. Your day to day is like super zoomed in, right? So try not to hold yourself like to
Oh
too
yeah,
high of a
no, don't worry.
obviously. But,
yeah, I'm still holding myself to a standard, but basically, I give myself some wiggle room there.
Yeah.
I'm working out, so I'm happy as hell right now. Really, I really am. I'm so happy to be like consistently lifting weights. Like it's like I'm going back to this religion I've wanted to go back to forever.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Someone just said in the comments that nuts are a great snack that will fill you up and satiate you.
Nuts
yes, but bro, those are so high in calorie. Like you gotta understand, man. If you don't measure those out on a damn food scale, you are playing with fire, homie. Like that will you will just like put, this should be like a serving. It's like 500 calories, guys. Like that's the stuff we talk about.
Very calorie dense.
Very healthy for you. But remember, we always separate overall health and then energy balance. Those are two very separate things.
So my chocolate dip macadamia nuts with sprinkles, I can't have those.
You can, man. You just gotta. This is how I would do this, because this kind of plays into your question too, man. There's high volume foods and low volume, right? So high volume being like broccoli and things that are super filling, lots of food, not a lot of energy, right? Low calorie. And then you have the low volume foods, right? There's like barely shit of anything there, and it's super high in calorie, right? Your desserts, nuts, stuff like that. So obviously, you're going to ebb and flow between both, but if you're noticing that you have hunger creeping up more and more towards the end of the night, just call it what it is, just hunger's kicking in, or the habit of it is there, you could always go to like the 0-cal options, like a diet, whatever, soda, or like a low-calorie snack, but you could also shift more of your earlier meals to more higher volume stuff and then give you just what you need, again, have a fourth meal there. If that is the meal structure that allows you to be most consistent, as long as it's like exercise said, within your weekly goals or your calorie range for the day or the week, you're going to be golden, man, honestly. But like you said, too, I think the most important thing you said was if it becomes more recurring, I would look to the low versus high volume stuff, too, because you could really push off hunger. Hunger is like a can you're kicking down the road, especially when you're in a deficit. It's going to get worse and worse pending that stuff. You could get Wendy's and super high volume and kill all your calories in like one meal and be just starving the whole week, or you could be puking full, depending on your food choices. So, yeah, just be careful. It's not like the nuts are bad, right? There's nothing wrong with nuts. It's just, when I'm on a weight loss phase and I'm only eating 2,100 calories a day, F that, man. No way in hell I'm touching nuts. Get that crap out of my face. I'm eating 3,200. I'm waking up full. Sure, yeah, I'll have some nuts, whatever. Chocolate covered, sure. Let's spice it up. You know, like, I don't really give a shit. But
I find it funny. The chat literally thinks I'm being serious. I'm doing jokes. And they're like, Miguel, you can only have 2, dude. You can only have 2. Like, dudes, I'm fucking around. Like, Miguel, you really shouldn't be drinking 30 beers. It should be more like 15 at most. You know, I'm gonna be drinking 15.
Scale those 30 beers down to 15, and then you'll be good.
Just make.
We got about 5 minutes before, or just under 5 minutes. Captain is gonna go live with
right.
George Wentz. So I had a question
Super cool.
for you, DC, before we log off here. Do you hold are there any controversial views or opinions that you hold, like, about the health and fitness space? So, like, any maybe like buzzwords or hot takes that you have that you might believe in or subscribe to, or something that would be deemed, I guess, controversial, or
I don't know if it's becoming. I don't know if it's becoming more and more controversial. I mean, whether it's becoming less and less controversial, but the amount of people that I know that are on steroids when I was going to the gym back in the day is just insane. When they, there's a lot of lying going on the steroid use in the United States. I mean, it's fucking the whole world. What am I talking about? It's a ton of people on gear. Now there is, and then there's a lot of dudes that get angry at people being on TRT when they're on steroids, basically. And a lot of it has to do just with, a lot of it's because of really the reason people are mad about gear is because they're on gear, and then they don't want the competition. It really is about like. I find that a lot of the reasons for this. I'm looking at it on this side. I know there's the health reasons, which is a bunch of bullshit, on my opinion, because you could be on steroids, or you can be on TRT and stuff like that and be healthy without going crazy with it. It's just more. It's just the thing is, what I find with people is that they're trying to keep a competitive advantage over people who. So there's a lot of people who are bashing their head over the wall, and then obviously they're trying to use roids to fix a bad diet, right? Which is wrong. But there's people that have their diets on point and stuff, but they're using roids to just get there faster, basically, and just maintain to have because there's dudes that, they got their diet on point, but they use roids essentially to be able to like fuck off on their diet a lot more. Yeah. And party it up and stuff. Cause like I know guys, I was friends with a bunch of dudes and stuff, friends of mine that were just fully roided out and stuff. And then they were able to be like 6-packed out, like cowboyed out and shit, at the hot home parties and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, I couldn't keep this. He's like, I couldn't keep I wouldn't be able to get it up without roid, because like how amazing, because if you're doing it naturally, you're trying to be like that 6-packed out, like when you see like all those photo shoots in which you actually like the real like on stage stuff, like their libido is just in the floor as a natural body. Versus, I'm not saying you can't be flat stomached or have a little 6-pack, but I'm talking about the deep cuts, where you're actually shredded, you're emaciated, being natural, and just the way it is. And they use, they just like, yeah, Miguel, dude, I'm on roids, man. I got you. Okay. Yeah, he's like, okay, so how you? I was like, because I didn't understand how he was maintaining, because I was seeing this fucker drink all the time. Him and this other guy, and he were really honest with me. And there's a lot of that too, as well as like they told me like, oh yeah, like people would go out of their way not to mention these sort of things because they want to have everyone else look shittier and then look better than everyone else, so they can get chicks, basically, or just like for Instagram and stuff. There's a lot of that going on. Yep,
100%. Yeah, and it's just shade. Like the fitness industry has just become so shady. Just like they're taking all of that shit and then they get on a magazine cover and they're like, "Yo, buy my supplement or buy my program or buy my whatever." Yeah, it's
look how jacked I am, and natural, and like there's a ton of dudes that are just using niches. Like I'm gonna say Liver King. I'm not saying he's on roids or nothing, but like, let's just say they like, oh, I only eat cow hearts, I only eat goat brains, I only eat that's like the big hype thing right now. And look how fucking jacked I am. I'm natural and stuff like this and everything. It's just to give themselves. It's just for attention, really.
I fully agree.
Yeah, man, there's an increasingly number of people, right, as we talk about the shift of more and more people kind of getting frustrated because they're still not understanding the underlying process and are facing an increasingly complex situation to get back down to where it was easy to do this in maybe 2015, where it was way easier to diet in 2015. Now the game has changed. We're post 2020. We're post all the shit that went down that we're still going through. It's even more difficult to manage this stuff. So people are more and more relying and going to things when they're frustrated. They don't know what's actually going on. That's why when someone says, "Oh, I have to be on steroids to look this way," I think it's important to separate out like the retail traders, if you will, like just like the dudes that are going to the gym that just want to look good and feel good. And then you have like maybe a UFC fighter or NFL or people that are really gonna, or professional bodybuilder, powerlifter, et cetera, right? That are potentially trying to cheat and stuff. Like, that's a whole other conversation because they'll actually be doing what they need to be doing there versus the retail pleb trader that's going to get wrecked because he's not even getting blood work done. He's not checking these things. On top of that, I hate to say it, most people on steroids still don't look good, man. Like they still don't look good. They can't even get lean. It's like, how is this happening? You know what I mean? So yeah, I think in that group, yeah, there's an inherent problem that's unfortunate because there's no mentorship. Like you said, there's so much bullshit still out there. Where are people going to turn? They're going to go towards the quick fix, and that's no different when you see maybe the more of the female crowd going to the more aggressive, super crazy diets where they're losing such aggressive weight loss, losing muscle mass, stretching their skin, things that cannot really be fixed. And yeah, it's rough. It's tough to see, man. It's tough to see because there's a huge difference between like professional athletes doing or people looking, aspiring to be a professional athlete versus like homie just, hopped on trend, hopped on, TRT, like whatever it is they're doing without really like knowing what they're doing. And if they didn't know what they're doing before, they're certainly likely not taking the necessary steps. Of course there's going to be outliers, right? But I would say 80%, fall into that category of will likely not look the part forever. Unfortunately, may have issues with overall health. And thirdly, are definitely not going to have a good relationship with this process as a whole. Because, man, you ain't doing steroids that long. Tell you what, man, good luck doing those in your 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
You forget what kind of shit these guys go through to make sure that things are super healthy, depending on the dosages they're taking. Not to mention the constant blood work they're getting to make sure that things are still good. But yeah, it's a tough one, man. But yeah, it's tough to see, dude, honestly, because once you start doing that stuff, it's it's just I don't know. It definitely is difficult to remove yourself from it, I feel like.
Yeah. Steroids is a fun topic. Whenever I used to lecture, I would always try to just get students to think differently about it, because everyone hears steroids bad or they hear like carbs bad. It's all like this black and white bullshit. So I'm like, well, what if I don't have the same muscle mass as Michael Phelps?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing too, man. Like half these guys, like I tell them, man, they're like, oh, I want to look like him. I'm like, okay, well, he's a professional wide receiver. He's 6'2", he weighs 170, and he's at 8% body fat. You, being 5'10", need to be 160 to weigh and look like him. No, I can't do that. I can't be below 200. Bro, what? Like, what? Do you care? Like, are they gonna measure you on the beach? Like, nobody cares, dude. I promise you. They don't care on Instagram either. Nobody's asking him his weight. You know what I mean? So. And that's a whole other episode we did too on body composition, understanding body fat percentage versus just total height and weight, and how different that can be, and manipulating it to look and appear a certain way, which is typically what most guys want, versus the number on the scale, right? It is such a complex thing. And once again, nobody's getting taught this stuff, So you have a lot of guys thinking like that 200 pounds, like this crazy ego threshold that you just can't break below, And the second you can, then you start to realize how exciting it becomes, unless you just have that much muscle. But to be honest, not even natural pro bodybuilders have that much muscle on them where they're like 200 at 5% body fat. It's typically, Kai Green, Phil Heath, people that are obviously not natural that are like 260. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, I could keep going. We gotta bounce here though. Let the captain hop on with us with a special guest. So if you guys are here with us right now, stick around. The captain's gonna have a pretty cool episode coming at you. DCC, dude. Yeah, I think we could shoot the shit with you for a long time.
Oh, I know.
Especially if we wanted to talk about like actual crypto stuff. So this has been awesome. I'm gonna put your link in here. I know this man does some work in the background. I know he does. And I think we had a couple of you that have had some of the benefits of that work in our chat. So I know you're recruiting for that right now, you and Charlie.
Yep.
So I hope that'll be what, for quarter one, I guess, or quarter. You guys are looking ahead, so looking ahead to quarter two. So hopefully that goes well. And man, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a blast.
I appreciate it, man. I love talking about fitness. It's my other passion.
Yes, sir. DC's back in the gym. That's great to hear. Love to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Let's cut it there, and everybody will be back Monday next week at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll see you then.